Osrc News at 7. Ondo State commits to quality education, human capital development. Federal government targets 1 million out-of-school children, teachers for training. US lawmakers move to sanction Nigerian officials over religious persecution claims. Experts warn of severe hunger amid food crisis in South Sudan. Good evening and welcome. Here is the news. I am Omoshiliola Adesoya Ajayi. Ondo State has once again demonstrated its leadership in advancing quality education and good governance in Nigeria. Governor Loke Aiyedatiwa made this known while addressing participants at the 69th Education Summit held in Akure, the state capital. Government House correspondent Zimo Epiwe has more on the report.
The 69th National Council on Education brought together stakeholders from various sectors to deliberate on strategies for revitalizing Nigeria's education system. The theme of the summit is quality education, data and professionalization of teaching, tools for enhanced national development. Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa commended President Bola Tinubu for his visionary leadership and renewed commitment towards advancing quality education and human capital development across the country.
From the pioneering free education policy of the old Western region to our present-day investment in digital learning, teacher welfare, and school infrastructure, Ondo State has always been the trailblazer, and it continues to stand tall as a beacon of quality education and responsible governance in Nigeria.
The governor reaffirmed the resolve of his administration to continue investing in education, describing teachers as the engine room for shaping the future of Nigerians' youth.
Ondo State is proud to be fully aligned with these objectives, ensuring that no learner is left behind. Quality education data is the foundation of every effective education system. Policymakers rely on accurate, reliable, and up-to-date data as source of information to make informed decisions, allocate resources efficiently, and plan strategically. With dependable data, we can track progress, evaluate interventions, and identify areas requiring improvement.
In their remarks, the Minister of Education, Dr. Tunji Alausa, and the Minister of State for Education, Professor Suwaiba Sahid Ahmad, applauded Governor Aiyedatiwa for his proactive leadership and dedication to promoting educational excellence driven by innovation, accountability, and inclusivity.
As part of our efforts to continue to promote our effective digitization agenda, all structure of our education system will be digitized as well. From the foundational learning sector, the Federal Education Quality Assurance Department has digitized the national instruments for monitoring, evaluation, and grading of basic and secondary schools.
To achieve this requires tracking the skill of teachers through strict adherence to the digital portal that is designed to provide a credible database for Nigerian teachers, streamlining licensing and promoting professionalism in teaching worldwide.
Dr. Lausa noted that the federal government under President Bola Tinubu has taken significant steps to reposition the nation's education system. Ondo State Commissioner for Education, Science and Technology, Professor Igbekele Ajibefun, highlighted the essence of the summit, calling on all Nigerians to collaborate with government in creating a conducive environment for educational development.
I urge all participants to actively engage, share innovative ideas, and propose actionable solutions that will translate into tangible improvements across Nigeria's education sector. May this gathering not only inspire dialogue, but also produce practical recommendations that will transform the education sector for generations to come.
Stakeholders in the education sector expressed optimism that policies and programs discussed at the summit will be implemented to drive development across the country.
The All Progressives Congress APC in Ondo State has lauded Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa for his visionary leadership and proactive governance, which led to the signing of a landmark $50 billion investment deal with Backbone Infrastructure Nigeria Limited for the establishment of a 500,000 barrel per day refinery and a 1,471 hectares sunshine-free trade zone in the state. The party described the project as one of the largest private sector-driven investments in Nigeria's history, noting that it would transform the economic landscape of Ondo State and position it as a major industrial and energy hub in the country. APC emphasized that Ondo State occupies a strategic place among Nigeria's oil-producing states, adding that this achievement restores the state's rightful place in the energy sector. The party further commended the governor for creating an enabling environment that restored investor confidence, calling on residents, especially the host communities, to support the project for its smooth implementation. According to the APC, the refinery and free trade zone will create massive employment opportunities, boost local businesses, and stimulate infrastructural growth across the host areas. The party congratulated Governor Aiyedatiwa for his exemplary leadership and commitment to driving economy transformation through strategic partnerships that will benefit the people of Ondo State in the long term. In a bid to reduce examination malpractice and align Nigeria examinations with global digital testing standards, the federal government of Nigeria announced the introduction of computer-based tests for WAEC and NECO starting May-June 2026. However, as laudable as the initiative is, certain conditions must be met considering the infrastructure and equipment required for its successful implementation. Omorion Lambiji spoke with stakeholders across the country on these challenges. Here is our report. We hope to give you the reports in the course of the bulletin. Meanwhile, the federal government has announced plans to reintegrate over 1 million out-of-school children into the formal education system across Nigeria. The Minister of Education, Tunji Alausa, made this known at the 69th National Council on Education Summit in Akure, Ondo State capital. Alausa said the initiative being implemented in collaboration with the National Commission for Almajiri and out-of-school children education involves mapping and documenting children from 12,600 communities nationwide. He explained that the program targets children between the ages of 7 and 9 who will be enrolled in low-cost private schools and training centers. According to him, over 21,000 out-of-school children have already been identified across the Federal Capital Territory and handed over to the FCT Education Secretariats for enrollment. He added that the ministry has established 109 functional learning centers and transit schools across the 36 states and the FCT, through which 15,224 learners have been enrolled so far. The Senate has confirmed Dr. Kingsley Ude as Senior Advocate of Nigeria from Enugu State as a Minister of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. His confirmation followed a screening session held on the Senate floor. Ude previously served as the Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice in Enugu State. His nomination comes just weeks after the resignation of Uche Naji, the former Minister of Aviation. Innovation, Science and Technology, who stepped down from President Tinubu's cabinet amid a certificate scandal. The Senate has directed the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control (NAFDAC) and other relevant regulatory bodies to strictly enforce the ban on the package of high-strength alcoholic beverages in sachet beginning December 2025. The lawmakers further resolved that no additional extension should be granted beyond the current moratorium. The resolution followed the adoption of a motion sponsored by Senator Asuko Upeyong on the need to halt further extension of the phase-out of alcoholic beverages packaged in sachet. In his lead debate during plenary, Senator Upeyong reminded the House that NAFDAC, in line with international best practices and after extensive consultations with industry stakeholders, had announced a phased ban on the importation, manufacture and distribution of alcohol packaged in sachets. The lawmakers also asked the Ministry of Health to expedite the release of the National Alcohol Policy, which should clearly prohibit sachet packaging of high-strength alcoholic beverages and support coordinated public sensitization efforts. In a bid to reduce examination malpractice and align Nigerian examinations with global digital testing standards, the federal government of Nigeria announced the introduction of computer-based tests for WAEC and NECO starting May-June 2026. However, as laudable as the initiative is, certain conditions must be met considering the infrastructure and equipment required for its successful implementation. Omorion Language spoke with stakeholders across the country on these challenges. Here is our report.
Examination malpractice, especially in WAEC and NECO, remains a pervasive problem in Nigeria, involving cheating, collusion, question paper leaks, and more. In the 2024 WASC, 215,267 results were withheld, and nearly 200,000 were flagged for the same reasons in 2025, while 574 schools had their licenses withdrawn. These alarming figures contributed to the government's decision to adopt computer-based testing as a means of improving exam security and preventing impersonation and other forms of cheating issues that have long plagued paper-based exams. The Minister of Education, Dr. Maruf Alausa, reaffirmed the government's determination to commence digital examinations, saying all necessary requirements are being addressed to ensure success.
We need to do this to completely eradicate fraud in our exam system, because it will let the pervasive environment that we have, where we have leakages of WAEC and NECO, continue. We're disenfranchising even the good students. So we have a responsive Federal Ministry of Education, and we're collaborating actively with all our sub-national governments in this agenda.
The National President, Association for Proprietors of Innovation and Vocational Institutions of Nigeria, Dr. Andrews Jegede, said that with the preparations already in place, the CBT examinations will succeed.
JAMB is already doing over 2 million CBT exams, and we already got structure with Joint Admission and Matriculation Board. If JAMB will do 2 million, an average application we expect from WAEC is about 1.2 million. That's okay, so there should be no problem. The program is arranged in such a way that you're going to have a pool of students in certain CBT center. So if you've been organizing CBT to accommodate about 2,000 students, I see no reason you should not be able to accommodate 1,200,000 students for WAEC.
Ondo State Commissioner for Education, Science and Technology, Professor Igbekele Ajibefun, and his Ogun State counterpart, Professor Abayomi Arigbabu, expressed optimism that the initiative will yield positive results, assuring that their states are ready.
We have a number of centers scattered in Ondo State. So at the initial stage, all the students will be moved to different centers with capacity to host such exams. And gradually, centers will be established in other areas where centers are not currently available, particularly in the rural areas.
We are ready because we are leading in the education sector in terms of digitalization, and that's a fact that we know. Many states are doing it, but we are actually gone far, and because of that, we are also moving ahead to make sure that we are not actually behind at all.
From Adamawa State, Dr. Rufus Hanawa revealed that both teachers and students are currently undergoing training in digital learning, adding that strategies are in place to ensure a smooth implementation process.
I'm sure with the practices and the plans of our governor, the governor of Adamawa State, Dr. Ahmadu Umaru Fintri, is planning to see that CBT centers are built, especially in most of the schools, so that during the exams they can confine. Since there's no more exam centers, but we are going to have CBT centers, and it's not mandatory that it should be in every school now.
If all government strategies are carefully implemented, stakeholders believe Nigeria will not only drastically reduce examination malpractice, but also equip students with the digital skills needed to thrive in a knowledge-driven economy. Omoriola Humbiji, OSRC News.
You're watching the news on OSRC television. We'll take a break now. When we come back, the news continues. Please don't go away.
When it's bright and early, get your breakfast right. You need all the nutrients that will hold you tight. Stay in power, you find it all in Peak. Every move you make, Peak's got you all the way. And the Peak goes on.
Power on every morning with our Peak breakfast to make the most of every day. Peak. Reach for your peak.
Glad to have you back. You can watch us live on our website, www.osrc.ng, or follow us on Facebook at OSRC TV, and on YouTube you can subscribe to our channel, OSRC TV Ondo. Mixed reactions have trailed the statement by the United States President Donald Trump describing Nigeria as a country of particular concern. Many Nigerians believe the remarks is tied to the growing insecurity across parts of the country, while others have condemned what they see as an unnecessary interference. Joy Pius reports.
Thousands and thousands of Christians are being killed. Radical Islamists are responsible for this mass slaughter. I am hereby making Nigeria a country of particular concern.
U.S. President Donald Trump's recent comments labeling Nigeria a country of particular concern has continued to stir conversations both locally and internationally. Trump, in his address, cited Nigeria's worsening security situation as a major point of global concern. While the statement raised eyebrows, it also sparked reflection among some Nigerians who spoke with OSRC, many acknowledging that the nation's challenges may indeed warrant global attention, but rejecting any form of foreign threats or intervention.
Libya was a country of particular concern. Syria and all those other countries. Iraq, were those countries better for it after their invasion? So I think we should look at it from that angle and be very, very careful either to embrace or to reject Donald Trump's postulation. I am not saying that it is good for anybody's life to be taken, but it has affected all of us as a country, all right? People have had to bury their relations. This has nothing to do with ethnicity or with religion or whatever.
Some respondents agree that Nigeria's security issues have taken on international dimensions, urging the federal government to invest more in security reforms, including improved welfare packages and equipment for security personnel.
When I was in modern school, 1994, I know what's happening. From my farm, from my first farm now, to more than 20 to 25 kilometers, I will trek. Nothing will happen in the night. But can I do that now? Some of these things. That is why this man in Nigeria is a peculiar something. So it's high saw, we all know.
The fact remains that what our government should do in Nigeria is to see how to put an end to these killings. Is it about religion, but about life? And we cherish life in this part of the world.
Nigeria tell it. Àwọn ní gbogbo wọ́ọ̀dù ń pè so ẹ̀tàn wa ń jagun ní kọ́ńtì míì olódìgbò àwọn kan ló kóra jọ tó fẹ́ yúsẹ̀sì àwọn sójà wa tó fẹ́ yúsẹ̀sì àwọn lórí wa àbọ̀dì nọ́mbà ẹ̀yọ́ tó àṣẹ kọ́ńtì tó ń jagun ní ànúdá kọ́ńtà tó ń ṣẹ́gun tó bá ìtọ́ tó yẹ sọ pé wọ́n tó wá gbọ́dọ̀ rọ̀ lọ́wọ́ tó bá tuntun tó wà bẹ́ẹ̀ tó bá yẹ tó bá tọ̀tẹ̀ tó wà bẹ́ẹ̀. Now to different countries. I can't go anywhere. But there was some soldier, our local, our custom, our immigration, our baby, our technical go to check by one. Our soldier, one go back, but I don't want to. So when our jabbing, a lot of one jab.
My advice to our government is that government should get up and be serious about the issue of security. The era of talk shows or paying lip service to security should be gone forever. Let us sit up and ensure that the life of anyone in this country is precious.
While Trump's comments may appear harsh to some, others view it as a wake-up call for better governance and stronger leadership, hoping for a more secure, peaceful, and prosperous Nigeria. Joy Pius, Osrc News.
Meanwhile, United States Congressman leading a requested probe into alleged attacks on Christians in Nigeria, Randy Moore, has pledged to brief President Donald Trump soon, following Mr. Trump's decision to designate Nigeria a country of particular concern for religious freedom violations. Moore, whom Trump named as one of the lawmakers to lead oversight into the killings, said he is on it and would provide the president with findings in short order, praising the administration's move to spotlight violence against Christians in Nigeria. The U.S. lawmaker has issued statements applauding the designation, saying he will lead congressional efforts to investigate the reported slaughter of Christians. In a series of public posts and remarks, President Trump accused radical Islamists of carrying out large-scale killings of Christians in Nigeria, a designation that can lead to targeted penalties, including suspension of some foreign assistance. He urged swift congressional action and told lawmakers to investigate the scale of the violence. He also suggested the United States could make military action if the killings continue. In the meantime, the United States House of Representatives has introduced a new bill seeking to hold Nigerian government officials accountable for alleged violations of religious freedom and human rights abuses in the country. The bill, titled the Nigeria Religious Freedom Accountability Act of 2025, sponsored by Republican lawmaker from Indiana's 3rd District, Martin Stutzma, was introduced on October 21, 2025. According to details published on the official U.S. Congress website, the bill has been referred to the House Committee on Foreign Affairs and the Committee on the Judiciary for further consideration. Both committees will review the bill within their respective jurisdiction before it proceeds to the floor of the House. If passed, the bill would compel the U.S. government to impose sanctions on Nigerian officials and entities accused of enabling religious persecution or turning a blind eye to violence justified by religion, signaling a major escalation in Washington's pressure on Nigeria over religious freedom issues. President of Cameroon, Paul Biya, who has been president for 43 years, will be sworn in tomorrow for a 8th time after a contested election that sparked mass protests and subsequent repression in which several demonstrators died. The 92-year-old Biya, the world's oldest head of state, won the October 12th with 53.7% of the votes according to official results against 35.2% for his main challenger, former government minister Chiroma Bakari. Biya is only the second person to lead Cameroon since independence from France in 1960. He has ruled with an iron fist, repressing all political and armed opposition and holding on to power in the face of social upheaval, economic inequality, and separatist violence. In a new report, the Integrated Food Security Phase Classification warned that half the country's population is expected to face severe hunger in 2026. Kemisola Ojomo has more.
International food security experts have warned that South Sudan continues to face a severe food and nutrition crisis that is likely to worsen without urgent food aid. The Integrated Food Security Phase Classification released a new report on Tuesday. It found that more than half the country's population is expected to face severe hunger in 2026, accounting for about 7.5 million people. More than 2 million children are also expected to suffer from acute malnutrition. Experts are especially concerned with the situation of 28,000 people in the northeastern countries of Nastra and Fangak. These populations face catastrophic food insecurity, the most severe level of hunger. The new report found that violence is the primary driver of hunger in South Sudan. Clashes between government and rebel fighters have been a major obstacle for humanitarian aid delivery. The United Nations last week warned that South Sudan risks back into full-scale conflict. Kemisola Ojomo, Osrc News.
To end the news tonight, here again are some of the major stories. We told you that Ondo State government has reaffirmed its commitment to advance quality education and good governance in Nigeria. We also inform you that the federal government has announced plans to reintegrate over 1 million out-of-school children into the formal education system across the country. And finally, we inform you that the United States House of Representatives has introduced a new bill seeking to hold Nigerian government officials responsible for alleged violations of religious freedom and human rights abuse in the country. That's the news. Thank you so much for watching. Good night.